Hello, everyone. This is being recorded in early April, and event season is upon us here in District 1 that covers New England. For the contest directors, the event managers, or anyone out there interested in learning more about the AMA contest and event package, Form 10, let's ask the AVP. This is an episode of Ask the AVP. I'll be your AVP today. My name is Darren Hudson. I'm one of the District 1 Associate Vice Presidents, and this is a grassroots initiative started by myself and my friend John Yasamidas, another AVP for District 1, and we've known each other for over 20 years, and we got together a couple of years ago as we were going to some events and said, wouldn't it be interesting if just the two of us could do a Facebook Live or something to that effect, and just kind of have like a flight line or a pits area chat about interesting things having to do with the hobby, some questions. So we started doing this. We have a few of them right now on our District 1 YouTube channel, and that's where this will be. The intent of this initiative is to showcase clubs, events, activities, and members, discuss some AMA information and programming, and also address technical and product questions that come along. So the reason that this might be a little bit different take on some of these subjects is the associate vice presidents for AMA have an interesting perspective. We are appointed by the district VP. Our district VP is Andy Argenio. He happens to be the senior member of the executive council. All 11 VPs sit on the executive council for AMA, and they are the oversight committee for the Academy of Model Aeronautics. We all have to be leader members as a prerequisite. Many of us have engaged in all the disciplines in the hobby at one point or another. Many of us have been officers at clubs, CDs or EMs. We engage in public outreach, educational outreach, advocacy through government affairs, event support. So there's a wide variety of skill sets, and there's a wide variety of perspectives from our position, and it allows us to get feedback from our members. We're constantly dealing with members and clubs as well as the public, and also headquarters for AMA. So we get an administrative input, and we also get input from literally the grassroots, from the field, from the events we go to, from the members at large. So that's our intent with this series, and hopefully we can maybe touch on some subjects that you may have not heard before. We're trying to inform and educate our membership to be better advocates for the hobby, for themselves, and to make this a real positive experience and increase everyone's opportunity for success, whether they're just out flying or they're running an event for the first time, they want to become a CD or an EM. So today we are going to focus on the contest and event package. This is the package that you will get when you sanction an event. If you're a new CD or an EM, I'd like to take a visit to the AMA sanction portal on the modelaircraft.org website to show you how to navigate to it. That will be where you will create your first sanction. And for those who have been CDs or EMs that are watching this, it serves as a pretty good review. So follow along and let's take a look. We'll go to modelaircraft.org. Now, when I get here, I want to make sure that I am logged into the website, which I am. You'll see my account up here and a log out option. So I am logged in. When you're dealing with event documents, most of them are member-only documents. So you do want to be logged in. So I go to event, slide over to event sanction portal, select that. It brings me to the portal. And I want to draw your attention to this video link right here. highly recommend clicking on the video link. It's about a 10-minute video, walks you right through the process. It's an excellent tutorial. I'm not going to try and top it at all. I just wanted to show you how to get here. This is where you would go if you wanted to create your sanction. If you are a CD already or an EM and you've created sanctions in the past, they would be here available for renew, or you can view all your sanctions here. Okay. So let's take a little deeper dive into the package itself now. So you've received your email approving your sanction, you've got your sanction paperwork, and you have a link to this document right here. The first thing I want to draw to attention is the little note at the bottom, very tiny print. So I want to make sure everybody understands what the intent of this document is. It is necessary for compliance with insurance requirements. Simply said, that's why we're doing all this. It backs up our safety mitigation programming, and that programming is recognized through our community-based organization, which is also recognized by the FAA and our insurance carrier. So in order for all that to work properly, and in the rare event that there is a claim of some sort, we have to follow these protocols. So the CDs and the event managers, they're the ones that are in charge of making sure that happens. So what I'm trying to do here today is just increase a little more familiarity and hopefully point out some things that maybe are either misconceptions or maybe something someone missed along the way, just to make it clearer for everyone. So your instruction page, always a good place to start. Starts off with the sanction event flight safety declaration, discusses basically the outline for your average event, an event that's going to be with airplanes that are 55 pounds or less, and they are not going to be turbine powered. So your, average fun fly or some open house where you're not expecting turbines or large model airplanes. That is really the main thrust of your event here. However, as a CD or an EM, it is important to become familiar with the other requirements, even though you may not be a waiver holder or a large model airplane permit holder. You do want to have that familiarity because you may have the opportunity sometime to run an event where someone would show up to fly such an airplane. So let's review some of the key points here. All the pilots must sign this document. Obviously, this is the sign-in sheet. The pilot requirement page is a mandatory requirement as well. It's 7 bullet points on the page, and it outlines this agreement that you're making between the AMA, yourself, and the CD, agreeing to what are the protocols for that event. And this is your contract, so to speak, your agreement to comply with all the AMA rules and the safety protocols. So it's very important that your participants understand what they're signing. If you do have turbine powered aircraft coming or large model airplanes coming, I'll review those briefly. For the turbine operations, if someone shows up with a jet, turbine powered jet, they do require a gas turbine waiver. That waiver information will be right on the front of their membership card. Right here is mine, turbine fixed. That's fixed wing turbines, not rotary wing. So if I show up with a turbine helicopter and I'm holding that, they're going to ask me, well, you're just fixed wing. Okay, so that's not good enough. I need a turbine. I need something appropriate to the aircraft I'm going to fly. If you want to verify it further, you can also go to modelaircraft.org, media resources, and AMA documents to find the gas turbine waiver holder list. So I'll go to that real briefly, show you how to navigate that. So we're back at the home page. This is a member only document. We're still logged in, media resources, documents. And we're talking about turbine waivers, correct? So we're going to go down to turbines. It's all alphabetical, turbines. And we're looking for the document that says turbine waiver holder list. This is a PDF. You open it up and it'll show you a date on the last time it was updated. And it shows the turbine waiver holders alphabetically by state. So that's where you would find the turbine waiver holders. All right, if your event has somebody show up with some large airplanes, then you can address them as well. The large model airplane program is available on modelaircraft.org at media and resources, where we just were, the same documents page, and it is under large model airplane program. Alphabetically, it's above turbines on that list with the blue bars. Each large model aircraft requires a permit to fly. Now, the people bringing these large airplanes are going to be intimately familiar with this program. They should be willing and able to show you that permit and even probably explain to you some of the program if you have any questions. But that's why we have this designated on your instruction sheet. And you'll notice when we go to the pilot requirement page, it'll also be at the bottom of that. There's either an LMA1 or an LMA2, and that is weight classifications. LMA1 is the lighter of the two, 55 pounds to 77 pounds, 2 ounces. And the heavier would be 77 pounds, 3 ounces, up to 125 pounds for non-turbine and 100 pounds for turbine. And that is the T in these names, LTMA1, LTMA2. That's to designate the turbine model airplane. If you want to look into that program more, just go right to modelaircraft.org, media and resources, AMA documents, and large model airplane program. I recommend that CDs and EMs, if they're anticipating people to come who have turbines or large models, print out these program documents or have them available for 2 reasons. If there's a conflict or if there's questions about the program, you'll have it available to you. Also, you might have some enthusiastic modelers who might be interested in taking up one of those 2 programs, and you can supply them with some information about it. While I'm talking about that, I do want to add that our CDs and our EMs are very important advocates and informers for our modeling community. You have a direct access face-to-face with a large variety of modelers who are coming usually from different areas, possibly different districts, different clubs. So you have an opportunity to contact a diverse group of modelers and spread good information. So the better you understand these documents, the better we can get that good information out there and dispel any rumors and misinformation. Some of these documents have been updated, and they do require some review every now and again. So even modelers who have been doing this forever, they might have to review these documents and see if there's been any significant changes. So the CDs and the EMs, we rely on them to have that knowledge and pass it on. They're talking to all these modelers at every event that they do. So we want to thank them for that volunteer leadership role. So moving on, we have the pilot requirement page, the most important page, in my opinion, on this whole document. This is the contract. This is what your pilots must read and understand. And it basically, going down the bullet points, there's 7. They may not apply to every single pilot. However, they are responsible to review all these to make sure they're in compliance. Number 1 talks about experience. And if you don't have experience, then you should have somebody there to assist you. There's no problem with going to an event and having somebody buddy box, either on a traditional airplane below 55 pounds or a turbine airplane, as long as you meet other requirements. The turbine program has a specific requirement that is addressed in these bullet points. So we'll talk about that in a second. But so is the pilot prepared to do what they're intending to do? Is the airplane prepared? That's number 2. No maidens during the event proper. During the hours of the event, there's no maiden flying, because your airplane is, according to the program and according to the protocol, it must have flown successfully prior to the event. So you make arrangements with the CD or the EM to do a maiden if you need it outside of the time of the event. You want to do that at a lull when there's not a lot of people around. We understand that some people can't have the ability or don't have the ability to do a maiden at their home field. So maybe they need the venue that they're going to for the event in order to do that maiden. And that's fine, but you just have to do it within the protocol and within the safety procedures. If you need if you have a gas turbine, oh, I'm sorry, I missed one. The maneuvers. Have you performed all the maneuvers you're intending to perform here? Are you comfortable flying your airplane in all the attitudes you intend to fly it in? And this isn't a time to test your skills and to impress people with stuff that you haven't tried before or practiced. Again, we're doing this usually in front of a crowd or in front of a crowd of modelers or a crowd of spectators. So better to keep it under control and do things that you've planned to do or have practiced doing before. If you have a gas turbine engine, you need a turbine waiver like we discussed. This is the point I was bringing up about the turbine buddy boxing. If you're going to have somebody buddy boxing or training someone with an instructor, that instructor must be current and meet the current requirements of an experienced turbine pilot. That's a defined term in the turbine waiver program, and I'll discuss that in a second. But there's a special requirement there. It can't just be any turbine waiver holder. They have some special requirements that they need to meet. If you're flying a big airplane over 55 pounds, the large model airplane program kicks in and you need that permit to fly. And you want to review all these. And once they review all these, then they sign the flight safety declaration. That's their signature on the contract that they're making. So those are the things that your CDs and EMs can hold the pilots accountable to. They have to read it and understand it. And now you have something that they have read, understood, and signed for. So if they don't happen to be performing as they're intended to or they're supposed to, you have something to talk about. Hopefully that's not the case. The point about the experienced turbine pilot, like I said, a defined term according to the program. This is a misinterpretation on occasion. This is a pilot who has to prove or write down in a log of some sort and have 20 or more turbine flights during the preceding 24 months. And this is required if you're going to be basically operating a buddy box. If you're going to be the master on that buddy box, if you're going to be introducing, teaching, checking, any of those things, you need to show this to the CD and let them know that, yes, in fact, I do have 20 or more flights in the last 24 months. Now, there is a stipulation in the program also. If you show up and they don't have that many flights, they are fine getting those flights on their own before they start buddy boxing and get their recency back. They don't have to take another waiver flight. They don't have to reapply. They just have to get current. They have to be proficient and current. That's the whole point of this. All right. I'm going to navigate to some of the documents through the website just so you can see where they are. Again, we've already done that a couple times. I'm going to use both modelaircraft.org and our AMA District 1 website. That's AMA district-i.org. So I'm going to go on either one, and we'll do with modelaircraft.org first, and we'll go look for this document. I'm going to modelaircraft.org. And again, you probably know this already, media and resources, documents, looking for those blue bars to pop up. There they are. Going to go down to events. We're looking for an event document, and we're looking for Form 10 over here. And Form 10 is the contest and event package. And there it is. So we have our front page, our event information page, just fill out the boxes. That gives you instructions on what to do with the paperwork as well. The all-important pilot requirements page, instructions for review, and then our flight safety declaration. This is where you would fill out your information at the top. Your pilots would sign in with their name, their email, their AMA number, their address, and their signature, and denote up here whether they're flying a turbine or if they have something over 55 pounds, which leads them down to the bottom of the package where you are supplied with. They give you 46 slots plus one blank. So I would recommend, if you're expecting a big crowd, print out extra blanks, and then you can use those to fill in. So what I was just talking about, if you check off turbine or over 55 pounds, that leads you to two other documents. If it's turbine waiver validation form to be completed by the CD or the EM. You would take that reference number. Let's say they were pilot number 5. You'd put 5 in here. You would write their name, their AMA number, whether it's fixed wing or rotary wing, and that you checked or validated their waiver, and then initial it. Done deal. If they are flying a large model airplane, you come down here, large model airplane, permit to fly validation form to be completed by the CD or the EM. Again, let's say they're number 10 and they have 2 airplanes. You'd put 10 and 10 and put their name and AMA number, repeat that there. The reason you're doing this on separate lines, separate airplanes. Remember that each airplane in the large model airplane program requires a permit to fly. So you'd put the aircraft identification there, and whether it was an LMA 1-2 or an LTMA 1 or 2, and that you've validated their permit. Initials, done. And that's basically it on the package. And this gets mailed in within 7 days of your event, and then you've met the qualifications of the program. Good job. All right, going back to the program here. This is an important page. I just wanted to put this up here. This is a pilot briefing checklist draft, obviously. This would be made up by the CD or EM. Events may require some specific details differently, and that's covered in the pilot meeting, and you can determine that yourself. Having a script allows you to get all that pertinent information down as needed at the pilot meeting, and you don't forget anything. CDs and EMs may want to create additional requirements for their specific events. At some events I've been to, the CDs and the EMs have determined they want a tech inspection of the airplanes. Every airplane gets a sticker on it that they've been inspected before they go fly. I think it's a great idea. Is it a requirement? No. Is it prudent? Absolutely. Is it a best practice? Absolutely. The only thing I would caution a CD or an EM on that is give fair notice. Include that in your event flyer and your event postings of the event, so people aren't taken by surprise. Most people are not going to expect that at an event. For a turbine type event, a CD or an EM may want to say, you know what, I know it's the experienced turbine pilots that are required to have a logbook. To make me feel better, since I don't know all the pilots, I would feel better if people show up with a record of their last year's flying or their last 2 years of flying. So give them notice ahead of time and let them try and meet your expectations. That's what we're trying to do. You want to clearly state your expectations at the beginning of your event, or before it in this case, and try and prevent having confusion or conflicts. So this is just a suggestion. I highly recommend it. It sets the tone. It lets everybody be on the same page. And so there's no surprises, including a situation that might come up where you might actually have to go, and either you or your designee, a line boss, maybe there's a concern with a pilot flying, the type of flying that they're doing, and you might want to have them land and talk to them. Tell their spotter respectfully and just have them land. And for the pilot, please just land safely, get clear of the runway, get your airplane shut down and secured, then go to a private area, take a few minutes, talk about the discrepancy or the conflict, work it out, and then hopefully resume the event. That's the way it should be handled. There should be no confrontation at the flight line at all. It should be a very respectful process, and if you set the tone in your pilot meetings, it'll be much easier to have that happen. All right, so a summary. The Form 10 or the contest event package is an insurance requirement. All participants are required to read and understand the pilot requirements sheet prior to signing the flight safety declaration. That's your contract. The AMA safety programming, the safety code, the contest and event package provides, under the approval of the insurance company and the FAA in certain circumstances, the ability to fly at events with models up to 55 pounds, and also turbine powered aircraft and large model airplanes 55 to 125 pounds. AMA's designated CDs, contest directors, and event managers are responsible for the operation and the compliance of this programming and are the ultimate authority at the events. AMA members are responsible for compliance with the requirements for their particular operation of model aircraft. The CDs, EMs, and any AMA district representatives like myself are charged with finding a balance between fun and safety while offering guidance to the CDs and EMs and members at the event. This is very similar to what the FAA does at air shows. They are the authority figure and they balance safety and promotion. Sometimes it's a tricky balance, but that's the intention. The CDs and the EMs and their designees, such as air bosses, are the ultimate authority at the events, and the participants are expected to respect them. Sometimes at events, when people see district AVPs and VPs, they get the impression that there's a hierarchy of authority. There really isn't. The CD is the ultimate authority at that event. And it's not the job of the AMA representatives to override them. It's their job to mentor them and guide them in operating the event the best they can. Sometimes there's new CDs, sometimes situations come up, and it's the job of the volunteer leadership of the district to help that CD through that process. That brings up another important point, and I want to reemphasize it. If you have questions or problems, please reach out to your volunteer leadership. We're here to help the membership of our districts. That's our job. That's our volunteer job. So if you have questions before your event and you're not sure how to work something, call us, ask the AVP, ask the VP. That's why we're here. And all this stress is helping you become more familiar with the AMA safety mitigation programming, so our entire aeromodeling community can maintain the stellar safety record and reputation it's had in the eyes of those agencies keeping a closer watch on our activities these days. Compliance to the safety programming while having a good time is crucial. So we all want to have a great time. Hijinks is part of our good time. So when we're doing that, we always have to do that with the backdrop of this safety mitigation programming, because that gives us the ability to do this in the eyes of agencies that sometimes would rather have us not do it. So it's not that we can't have any fun. I have a blast at most of the events I go to, and we operate well within these requirements. So now that you're a little bit better informed, hopefully you can go out and inform others, and you can have a great season. Enjoy your events. Please don't forget to integrate into the crowd and outreach into the spectators. Some of the events I go to now down at Plum Island, we've been doing this for the last couple of years. Instead of a noon demo, we do noon intros. The pilots all put the jets away. We take out the trainers and we form lines, sometimes up to 5 or 6 trainers at a time, and we pull the spectators out for an hour or so, and it is a ball. I don't know who has more fun, the pilots or the spectators, but there are abundant numbers of smiles on the faces, and I can't think of a better way to reach out to outreach into our crowds. So keep that in mind while you're at your events. I will provide some links in this video. Please share, please subscribe, please like, please comment. I'm open to comments, feedback, criticisms. I don't care. Let's get a discussion going about this subject, and let me know what you think of the format, and hopefully we can improve. We're just starting this initiative out. So I want to thank you very much. It's been a pleasure, and I'll see you out on a flight line somewhere. Have a great season.